Hello everyone, Mondevu here, and this is kind of an unusual video. As you can see, there's no game sound to this first bit. I'm mostly just reacting to an older recording that I have. But I made an interesting discovery playing Path of Titans that I have loved to use since. And those of you who have been around for a bit can tell this happened before Gondowa got its first big map update. Here I am running from a couple of gigas on my Amarga, and this was before the Lone Survivor sense was added, so I already know that I'm kind of screwed. So my thought process was, okay, let me just go ahead and position myself so it's hard for them to get my head, maybe I'll stand a chance. And you can see they even kind of hesitate because they're not quite sure what I can and can't do. They don't know what strategy I'm going to unfold here, and I was just sitting here going, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, and when they come in, I'm just like, oh dear, and then I happen to see this little ledge right here, so I'm like, I bet I can survive that. And this is now what I call the salt ledge, because players get so salty whenever I use this ledge. It's amazing. And right here you can see I'm like, okay, well, I survived. I don't know how I'm going to get down yet, but I survived. This is back before they lowered the water level in the Grand Plains River. So, you know, this fall, once I'm able to get down, hits a lot harder. And the whole reason I have this video muted is because a couple of my friends were talking in the background and I had none of my own dialogue recorded. I think I was still kind of figuring out OBS at this point, at least in relation to Path of Titans, or I had simply muted myself and forgot to unmute. But, you know, this is what was happening. This little gig up here is super mad. These other two gigas are clearly trying to figure it out, and this is just... I love doing this. It's so entertaining. And you can see I'm like way over on the edge. I know now I don't need to do this, but when I was first on this ledge, I was sitting here going, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap the whole time. Now this took place on a server that I no longer play on. It was a server called Arizoa, and they were okay at first. I liked some of their profiles. The rule set was decent for a realism server. But some of their rules were just kind of dumb. So like, for example, they had their version of no apex tolerance meant that one apex could chase another one across the map. And it's just so absurd to do that to a player. It really is. Like, that's the kind of thing you expect to see on no-rule servers and the official servers, where PvP is encouraged and rampant and what you're supposed to do. On a realism server, you're supposed to roleplay. You know, you're supposed to be realistic to a certain degree. So, you know, my friends and I no longer play in Arizoa, and also there were issues with staff as well. And like, there's issues with staff on every server. You know, that's normal. That happens in online gaming. You can see the Giga here is trying to hit me with his tail. He's like, I bet I can hit you, and they don't realize they're like 15 feet above me. It's like, how do I do this? I can't figure this out. But yeah, we weren't happy with that experience or the staff on the server or anything. You can see this Rex checking me out now. This was before Rex's and Suko's, and I think even Spino's, I don't remember if they have that or not, got the stomp attack. And here you see this bird trying his luck. If I'd been able to get up any faster, I'd have stomped his butt. Oh, I'd have stomped him so hard. The whole reason I first started playing Amarga around this time was because they finally fixed the issue they used to have, where the Amarga would try to stomp, but any minute interruption in its animation would cancel the attack entirely. So this was after they'd fixed that, and I wanted to give the dino another try. Because sometimes they just like to play dinos that are difficult to survive on, and this is one of them. I've gained a lot of experience, and I love to use the salt ledge in this way. So I've been learning more how to play Amarga and like what I can and can't get away with. And here I was mostly just trying to heal, so that bird was very annoying. And here I am concerned about the Rex. You can see me scooting closer to the edge there. I'm just like, oh crap, here's another one. And you saw earlier in the video there was a Suko down in the water, and this water down here at the edge of the rock, that was about I'd say about a third of the way up my Amarga. Not enough for me to be swimming, but enough to allow for any swimming creature that was small enough to be able to swim. So it gave them a massive maneuverability advantage. So I was not keen on getting down there at first. I'm just trying desperately to stay alive. See, this bird comes in, he's checking me out. The Rex is checking me out. He's going to try some of the same things the Giga did with how far down is it? Can I survive that? Can I bite it? But I don't recall the Rex ever. He's kind of like taunting me there, I think. Or maybe he's trying to shake his head at me. I'm not sure which. But he never really quite tries to get down with me, and I don't think he tried his tail attack either. You see the little bite there? He might just be sitting there going, this is weird, but okay. And I'm confident the birds were just like, what is this Amarga doing? And here comes the Sarco to investigate. I think this Sarco was actually in the river when this happened, because I was up here for, like, you're seeing trimmed bits. I was up here for a solid 20-30 minutes waiting for things to go away so I could figure out how to survive and get when I got down. And Sarcos can be tricky. I learned very recently that if a Sarco hops down this ledge, they can, depending on where you are on that ledge, they can use their body to push you over the edge, because I recently died that way. Like, very recently. But yeah, look at this, he's confused. You can see he's like, what the heck? I love how you can see so much that's going on with other players without ever seeing what they're saying in chat, without ever hearing them in a VC. Like, you know this guy is confused or laughing at me or something in there. And I'm just sitting here going, welp, I'm stuck. But I do love the Salt Ledge. This video is going to be a little on the longer side, and this video you see here will have sound. This is obviously after I knew I could survive the fall from the Salt Ledge, so here I am deliberately using it to my advantage to escape a different pair of Gigas. And you see I kind of hesitate here because I wasn't sure they were after me at first. I just wanted to get in position ahead of time, because I know they hit hard. And here I am, I'm like, nope, let's just go ahead and do this, because I know that this works. Because, again, I didn't know well how to fight on these guys. And, like, it's still very difficult to fight in Apex as an Amarga. Even one-on-one, that's usually not a winning battle. But by this point, I knew I could at least use the Salt Ledge to my advantage. And I believe it was this encounter specifically that led to me calling it the Salt Ledge. Because I didn't call it that before. I was just like, oh yeah, there's this ledge I was able to use to my advantage. And you see one Giga coming to check me out like, is that legal? Did he just... Yep, he did. He's dropping his trophy for his baby there. He's just... And this is me much more confident now, because I know that I can survive this, and I know that most of the time they're not going to be able to get down there. And here they are, they're just going to constantly try to figure out, how do I reach it? You see, this gig is low-key, considering, can I get over there? So my thought as I get up here is to try to body block it. Because if I body block it, then, you know, maybe he'll slide over the edge. Which I think he does at one point, I don't recall. Even though I've trimmed this video recently, I have so much footage of the Salt Ledge that I legit have maybe 2 or 3 videos worth. That's why this first one's going to be so long, because I'm kind of explaining the origins and going over what happened here. Because I don't have my own voice in a lot of these videos, and some of my later ones are actually done via replay, which I love the replay tool. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, here you can see these Gigas trying to figure it out. They're frustrated. Just constant bites and snips. There's a bird flying around somewhere. Yeah, there's that bird. He hit the edge there. He's like, oh, I'm not doing that again. And this was still on the Arizoa server. Okay, I've sped up the footage here, because largely what's happening is this is the Gigas being extremely salty, trying to figure out, oh, well, you're breaking the rules, you're body denying, this isn't legal, they're trying to blame me for stuff. We got a member of staff involved, and like 2 different members of staff came over, and they were like, no, this is legal because they found a way to escape you. It's just if they did this, then, you know, then it would be a problem. So, for example, if they were able to kill me on that ledge, but then I fell in the water, they might not have been able to eat me, and I pointed that out, and they were like, oh, so you're trying to induce a rule break, And it's like, no, that's not the case. But the staff did side with me on this, because this is a perfectly legal escape. And it's a perfectly legal escape on most realism and semi-realism servers. It's really only the super hardcore ones that are going to have any kind of a problem with this. And even then, like, if you know you survive without body denial, most of the time they let that stuff slide. And this is just me pointing out, you know, all of the above to staff and to the salty Gigas and all of that. You know, a couple times the staff are like, oh yeah, you could probably just pop down on the ledge. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to wait for myself to heal first, and I know there's something in the water, so I'm not going to go in there right now, because there was a Sarco down there. You see, at this point, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and try this. So here I am moving into body block. And down he goes. Biting on that rock there. Here comes the other one. Comes the other one. There he goes. And this all it required was, I see, I didn't even need to do anything there. Here I am backed up because they're not supposed to be able to hit me there. That's a mesh bite, which is against the rules in most servers. You don't see it yet, but a staff member was right there legit yelling at them, and this person didn't stop until I stomped them and they went down there. I'm honestly surprised they didn't take much damage from that fall. They were super mad about this later too. And they were trying so hard to justify the mesh biting. Like, on my camera, it was like this. Realistically, my head would have been up. And the staff was like, but your head cannot mesh through it at all. Well, on my screen. So, these guys were so mad. They were so mad. So yeah, this is legit why. And you see those two Styracosaurs in the background? Yeah, they were concerned about the Spino here who hyperfixated on me. And we're not in a group, mind you. We're not in a group at all. It's just they saw me and Packy saw me. And we were kind of chatting in local because, you know, herbivore chat. And I think they legit decided, let's help this Amarga out. Let's distract the Spinosaur. As you see here, I'm just kind of playing with this guy. He's like, I want that Amarg. I want that food. I'm hyperfixated. I want this food. I'm like enjoying the view. This was also a time when I was on this ledge for a long time. That bird! I forgot that bird did that. Yeah, there's a second spoon. It's right around here. You can see in the background the Styracs are fighting the spoons. And that's when I realized, oh, they actually are trying to help me a bit. Here's the Packy coming up to check on me. And, like, it takes me a bit to realize. But I do eventually, like, scuttle down from here. And I was just very entertained because I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're obviously helping me. And it was a loophole, but, like, it was a legal loophole. Like, because they were just chilling at the edge. And the Spinos were eventually like, well, we need food and there's food over there. So they started fighting. And then I just casually took advantage because, like, I noticed after I escaped from this, those herbivores took off. And I don't think anybody ever caught us either. You can see how much damage that fall does. And I don't know if there hadn't been that tiny little ledge there. This is what I mean by how deep the water is. You can see a Sarco can easily maneuver in there. That damage hurts. It hurts. I think it would have been worse if I had just straight hit the water. This is me on my Kentro playing with the Sarco because this was before the Sarcos got their grab ability. So because I wasn't concerned about being grabbed because I'd figured out the whole maneuverability thing. And I think this is also around the time I made my Kentro shenanigans video. I was just playing with them while I got a drink because I needed water. And then this Meep comes out of here and tries to get me. I promise there's a Meep. I probably didn't quite trim this video right, but oh, see, there we go, playing with the Sarco. And, oh, no. Yeah, I might have trimmed this a bit too soon. Oh, there's the Meep. Yep, there's the Meep. Yes, with your little creepy scream. See, I'm already pretty fast in comparison to a Meep. Like, they can keep up for a decent bit, but not as much as I can. You see, he kind of backs off there, but I want to take him to the salt ledge. So I egg him on a bit. I was being real cheeky here. He's like, oh no, you did not. I'm like, yes I did. Come on, let's go. He yells, I yell. You can see why I love doing this. Like, nobody expects me to drop down there. On one of the servers I play on, I'm starting to get just a little bit of a reputation. Just a little bit. And there actually have been times when the salt ledge has failed me. There was one time that I don't have recorded where a Giga simply just outstammed me. Like, I was eventually able to use a salt ledge to escape. And he dropped down with me and managed to get on that second ledge. But even with stomping, I wasn't actually doing any damage because by this point the replay had come and I was able to see that. Here I am kind of going neener with the Meep, waiting to see if he'll actually do it. And then when he gets close enough, boop. He's so mad. He's so mad. Although this guy was relatively chill about it. He was like, huh, that's kind of clever because I know I will get hurt on that fall. And we had a decent conversation about it in chat, in the in-game chat. Now this right here, I used to face not this way, but the other way, because my logic before was always, well, if they get on that ledge, I can just hit them with my tail. Or I can stomp them until the replay tool came out and I realized that didn't do as much as I hoped, at least not to certain dinos. So I used to face that way, but now I face this way. And this is before I figured out to face this way. This Meg, you can see how confused they are. I love it. I love it. It's great. You can see how confused they are. Also, I typically don't do videos like this where I'm commentating over stuff that I'm not actively engaged in. So let me know if this is entertaining at all, because this is typically not my forte. I prefer to react to stuff in real time. It's just I didn't have my VC recorded in a lot of these. And until I started finally making this video, I legit had no idea how much footage I had obtained of the Salt Ledge. There's a couple of Sarcos, they wanted me. I'm taunting them too, because again, this is before they got the grab. This is before the Sarcos had the grab, this is before other creatures had the stomp ability, but it was after Lone Survivor came out, because you can see my icon there. Those Sarcos want to be so bad. I think this Meg tries too. Yeah, this Meg tries at one point, and I just start wrecking him with the bleed. Yeah, see, here he comes, and I'm just like, nope. Nope. Yeah, he's like, nope! That's a lot of bleed for a Meg. The Sarco, they're both like yawning at me. What's really funny is I have yet to experience a Sarco trying to leap at me, because I know if they aim that one lunge correctly, they can kind of fly out of the water. And I think it's because they might hurt themselves or die on the way down, but I'm still surprised that at least on a PvP or no-rule server, nobody has tried that yet. Of course, now that I've said it, you know, somebody will do it, but, you know. Yeah, I think the Meep was like, okay, well, I'll hang out and see how this plays out for a bit, and then he gave up when the Meg got me, because I guess he thought that the Meg was going to get me. And here we go, this is after they lowered the water level. This is a much easier trek now. And you can hear the Sarcos trying to get me, but I'm just too fast. I love it. The Salt Ledge is my new favorite thing. I adore the Salt Ledge. Oh yes, these Meeps. This was on the Isla Nicta server. This is my favorite semi-realism server, because they have a decent rule set, and that's what I like about it, is the decent rule set. And these guys got so mad. They got about as mad as those Gigas. So I took them to the Salt Ledge. You can see here, my only concern is food. In fact, ever since this encounter, I always make sure that my Amargo or my Kentro or whatever Dino I'm playing when I'm out here is topped up on food and water all the time. I make sure of that so that I can stay on that Salt Ledge for as long as necessary. This was the one time that I didn't get the chance to eat much food. In fact, I think I was on my way to a better berry bush when these two started trying to be sneaky behind me, and they just weren't. I was like, no, I see y'all back there. I'm going to take you all the way to the Salt Ledge, which I do. Kind of funny, because during the sprint you can see the Kentro's just a little bit faster than the Meep, and it really does make for an interesting chase. I think it was around this time I wasn't quite sure how to fight Meeps as a Kentro, so I was like, okay, Salt Ledge, let's go. And down I go. And now they just get really mad. They get so mad. They're super salty in chat. These guys were saying things like, are you afraid to play the game? Like, they were legit mad that I wouldn't roll over and let them eat me. They were so mad. I told them how they were entertaining me, and they were like, I'm entertained by how lame you are. And finally a staff member was like, alright, cut that out. So here I am using my increase the bleed attack, because I was anticipating, with all three of them rolling up, I was anticipating at least one of them dropping down on me. But they never did. They would rather just scream at me and yell at me in chat and just be really, really upset. They were saying things like, oh, all day people have been running from us. Well, yeah, you're 3 Meeps and you rolled up on a Kentro. What did you expect me to do? Like, the Kentro is maneuverable. It's a great mid-tier. But, like, against 3 Meeps, that's not much of a fight. That's not much of a fight. They might be glass cannons, but Kentro still doesn't have as much health. Or at the very least, it doesn't have as much armor. They're so mad. They're so very mad. This is when I was like, okay, my hunger's getting to me. So I told them, hey, you guys can chase me one more time if you really want. And I still get away. I still get away. Because, like, here he goes. The white one comes around. He was the only one that realized I was getting down. The other two stayed behind. And after this chase, I escaped into the woods. Because he just couldn't keep up with me. So that's the Salt Ledge. I'm going to be putting together some new videos on this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed.